Blur my background.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude.
Oh, buddy.
Now on you.
Nice.
You can't see all the stuffed animals in the background.
I feel so good that I taught a professional something. Nice.
Right from the
Hey.
Olympics. There's a lot of Olympics on the show today.
Very topical.
Very topical.
Do you want to, now that you brought it up, we should just talk about it. I was kind of like,
let's get going on the Olympics. I'm so psyched.
If we should talk about it, because it's just everybody just fucking shat their brains all over the place about it.
Yeah, I will say that we're now at the point of the Olympics where I'm no longer enjoying it as purely as I was before, because everything that I think I like, I go on the internet and I have to read an essay now about how what I just saw I did not see, or what I liked I did not like. You know what I mean? Everything's a fight now, and I'm just like, I want to enjoy the guy from the Nanaimo who looks like he rolled out of bed and just won a gold medal, and that's okay. That's okay.
What did he win a gold medal in?
Hammer throw.
Nice. There's always a Canadian from a small town doing the hammer throw. Like a couple Olympics ago was some bro from Armstrong.
Yeah,
now
right.
It's some dude from Nanaimo.
And he got a gold medal and he set a record. It's great.
He set a record. Wow.
Oh yeah, he looked good doing it. I was like, all right, hammer throw is an intense sport.
Although I do have to say, I am very happy we had another pole vaulting dong incident.
Oh, another.
Every once in a while that happens.
To be fair, those guys all have fucking monster units.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I was watching that Swedish dude who won it, and it's just like, I know his eyes are up here, but they were I was like, all right, bro, sets the records, dude.
What do you do about it? Like, there's nowhere to stuff it, to hide it.
You got to tape it or wear some sacks. I don't know.
Yeah. And then you just pinch it when you're running. That'd be the worst.
I mean, is there not a worse way though to lose your Olympic medal? Like if you were at the bar and you're having some drinks, and someone's like, "Who are you?" And I'm an Olympian. And oh, cool. How'd you do? Got disqualified. And why? My monster dong hit the pole. Like that's a fine story. That's a fine story.
I'm gonna say something totally ignorant about Olympic purists and stuff, because if this guy wouldn't have hit the pole or the bar off with his dong, I would have never seen his face. And I'm assuming there's other people out there, maybe people of the persuasion he would like to bed. I'm not assuming if he's straight or homosexual. So I'm assuming there's more viable sexual partners who know who 100%. He is just because he knocked it off.
There's way worse ways to disqualify. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There's people who are late. There was a story of the one person who left the athlete village. Like that'd be embarrassing. You know what I mean? That's an unforced error.
Wait, did he get this? I thought he just got lost.
I don't know if he got disqualified.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he might have just lost, whatever. But I just meant the point is if you lost because your monster, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I came in fourth. Oh, why? Because my monster dong knocked out the pole. Like that's not a bad story.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's not a bad story. Like there are worse stories.
The guy who's like, oh, I left by accident, or
I wanted to go see the Eiffel Tower before I was done my, oh, well, you're disqualified. That sucks. That's a lot of work, Then there's other people that come in fourth just because they came in fourth. But, this guy at least has a, you know what I mean? There's a narrative. There's a story. And I think it would be a fun one to tell.
Did you watch the opening ceremonies?
You know what I did? And I was new. Here's what happens with me with the Olympics every time. Every time, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Yeah. And then 2 or 3 days in, I'm just barfing Canada flags. Like, let me tell you about rowing or ice sledding or whatever the hell they're doing. You know what I mean? I'm just like, did you know that they used to have tug of war in the Olympics? I'm so in. Like, I'm all in all the time. But at the very beginning, I'm not. Before the Olympics, I'm just like, nationalism's bad and the Olympics are corrupt. And then 2 days in, I'm just like, yeah, man, wrap me in a beaver pelt, right? Like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm always like, oh, patriotism, that just leads to war because you're fighting over lines in the dirt. And then the opening ceremonies happen. You're like, oh, shit, is it the Olympics already? And then I'm like, I'm going to watch that when I go home. And then I don't. But I did. I watched some tennis this year because I have a 16-month-old daughter. So that really cuts down what I can watch. I mean,
Yeah.
I would just fill her face full of violence and swearing because I'm like, she's 16 months. She'll
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah. You're
But
gonna
my
watch Game of
girlfriend,
Thrones now or eventually.
yeah, my girlfriend, who is a much better parent than me, she's like, it'll get into her subconscious and she'll just remember those words for later. And I was like, oh, well, the Olympics are on. I'll put that on. So we were watching tennis and it was the bronze medal game. And I only watched like a third of it, and it was so much tennis. Like it was 10 games of tennis, and that's only a third of what they're playing. And
Oh
I
my
was like,
God.
how can this guy do this? And he did that. They said he did that like 10 times in a week. Like he had 10 matches in 1 week, and they're all like could be potentially 30 games. So you're playing 300 games of tennis in a week.
Yeah. So when I see the
Whew.
rugby sevens, and it's like, I went on the internet and everyone's like, rugby sevens. I was like, oh, I better watch this. And then sure enough,
Yeah.
Canada's like playing for a medal. So I
Oh,
was like, oh
wow.
shit, well, that's crazy. So I didn't realize we were so good at rugby. And they're like, well, we upset Australia. And I'm like, oh, what day did that happen? Oh, that happened earlier in the morning. Like in rugby
Oh,
sevens,
shit.
you know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
play a game and you would normally like in hockey, it's like, oh, you need a day off in between
Mhm.
games. But in rugby sevens, it's like, no, you get an hour off. Like
Jesus
take a knee,
Christ.
orange slices, ladies, get back out there. And I was like, holy shit. And so then me and my dad sat down to watch this final of rugby sevens when they played New Zealand right in the final.
Is that
And
the
me and my
team with that monster unit? Am I allowed
uh
to say that? I
a
just saw
monster
like
unit.
some TikTok of this like giant rugby chick just running over other chicks, and
Oh,
she
I
was like
don't
New
know if
Zealand.
that was the rugby sevens. They all
Well, the
there was
video
no one
wasn't
that was
from.
yeah,
Mm,
there was no one so giant that I was like, oh my God, this is insane. They were, I mean, New Zealand was just bigger and tougher and faster. But I, when we watched it, I was surprised that they'd played earlier that day. And then I was
mhm.
shocked on how quick the game was. Like me and my dad are like, all right, is that the first quarter? And they're like, well, it's halftime. And we're like, oh shit. And then we blink and all of a sudden New Zealand's like high fiving for their gold medals. And we were like, okay,
Ooh,
that happens fast.
that sounds like a good sport to
Yeah, I
watch.
kind of like it. Even, we watched the 3-on-3 basketball, and I'm like, oh, are we just letting intramural sports now in? Like,
3-on-3.
yeah, I was like, what was wrong with regular basketball? So now they just want more medals, right? So we
Do they
watched the
not? Do they have both? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
yeah,
but
they have basketball.
oh, okay.
And then they're doing this 3-on-3. It's like outside. It's like super hip. It's like basically it's just like a pickup game that you would play with your buds, and they made
Oh,
an Olympic sport. And I mean, it was fun and it was fast, but why?
what's the
But why?
vernacular for that? Is it called blacktop?
No, I think they just called it 3-on-3. Three
Oh,
X three is what the announcers kept calling
ooh,
it. 3x3. And I was like,
sexy.
okay, yes. And Canada lost, so we came in
Mm.
fourth. But whatever.
Oh, that sucks.
I was
But they
learn.
got a.
I had to learn.
Did they get the silver then in rugby sevens?
Rugby sevens, I got the silver, yeah. But
Oh,
in
that's okay.
yeah,
Here,
yeah.
let
But in
me. Sorry, I'm just going to look up since we're fucking talking Olympics. I'm just gonna look up the medal count right now
oh yeah, it's the
because
only thing I care about. What's the medal count?
right, the only nothing better for podcast fodder than medal or me googling.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You
Canada
gotta edit it out.
is 11th. I don't
Oh
edit
shit, we
stuff out.
slipped. We've slipped.
It takes the parlance out of the conversation and makes it seem truncated or staccato or maybe I'll
It
edit
just
that out.
just it just sounds like you're just lazy and don't want to edit.
Oh yeah, definitely. If I had to edit out every time I couldn't remember a word, the podcast
Oh
would be
yeah.
like 10 minutes long.
Like there's some AI now you can get for your podcast, and it does it for you.
Oh, that reminds me, we'll do a segue to something I just wanted to touch on
Yeah.
right after we hit the medal count.
Okay, hit the medal count.
Okay, I'll give you $1 if you can guess who's in first.
USA.
Yeah, they're always in first.
Yeah, they kill.
They have 10
Okay.
times as many people, so they should have 10 times as many medals.
Yeah, me and my wife were talking about that today. It's like even if the USA doesn't get a medal, they're
Mhm.
always in the final heat, right? Like if it's
Yeah.
running, the USA person might come in eighth, but they're always there. Like the US just they just win on like the shotgun method of just like we have an athlete in every sport
Mm.
at least a moderately high level, if
Yeah,
not
and
the best.
it's because they fund everything so much. Like the sports of the States, like I grew up in a town of 8,000,
Yeah.
and a girl from my grade got a college scholarship for slow pitch, or not for fast, or for softball. Just like random Enderby in the middle of nowhere, got scouted to a college in the States to play I guess fastball, softball.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, I mean, if you look at all the Canadians, it's like, oh, and they are in a U.S. university. I guess where they, like Summer McIntosh. She's University of Florida, and they even had the Swedish guy with the pole vault earlier today. He went to American school, right? Like,
the Dong guy or someone else?
they all have donks. No, he won. The Swedish won.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, if Dong guy's at an American university in Florida.
No, the Summer McIntosh, right? The swimmer for Canada. She's at University of Florida. So, but what?
Well, she was swimming, right?
Yeah, she crushes. She is. You got the medal count. You got the medal count there?
Yeah, it doesn't say who won what. Okay.
Yeah, but how many golds are on there for Canada?
5.
Yeah, so Summer's 3 of them.
Oh, wow. Okay, so first,
like without Summer, Canada's like,
yeah. So first overall is the United States with 79 medals, 21 of those gold, 30 silver, 28 bronze. Right. China is second with 21 gold, 18 silver, 14 bronze, 53 total. I'm just random order. France, third, host country, 48 altogether, 13 gold, 16 silver, 19 bronze. Australia, surprised. Australia's got less people than we do, don't they?
I know, but they smash Summer, just like how Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Canada bats high in the winter, right?
We go up because in the their whole continent is basically a desert.
Based on fire, desert of heat.
Except for the part that touches the ocean.
You have to swim away from sharks, so they're good at swimming. They're good at all that stuff. Yeah.
They have 33 total, 13 gold, 12 silver, and 8 bronze.
Wow.
And then Canada is 11th. I'm just going to skip all the other ones.
Yeah, who cares?
This list did.
I haven't even heard of most of the other countries.
Yeah. 17 altogether. 5 gold, 4 silver, 8 bronze.
Look at us go.
Nice. Yeah, I guess that's it for the Olympics.
Yeah, that was fun.
What was my... Okay.
Originally, you wanted to talk about the opening ceremony.
Yeah.
And everyone got mad at the painting or whatever, the picture.
Yeah, well, it's kind of confusing because a lot of people said it was blasphemous because it was making fun of the Lord's or the Last Supper, but there was only 9. Were they all drag queens or were some of them drag queens? I don't know. I don't know.
I just like France is a Catholic country, right? Like, you're allowed to make fun of yourself.
It's hard to pay attention when and pick up on it. And then I saw there's this guy, Isaac Weishaupt. He does this cult symbolism in popular culture, and he was saying how it wasn't actually blasphemous for Christianity. It was all this cult stuff for some other painting, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool if I remembered that for the podcast and talked about it like I was smart, but I don't.
They go, isn't how people will Google that. Now they're gonna be like, that actually sounds interesting. Yeah, just I guess at the end of the day, man, if it was France, if France was fine with it, then why are people offended? France is a Christian nation, it's like,
exactly.
If they're like, yeah, man, go with it.
My whole thing about it is you can't make the Olympics that cool. It's supposed to be for dorks, so it's easily digestible. If you go in and there's techno music or a fucking death metal band playing with this
metal band
projection of a Marie Antoinette with a severed head, then a shooting red
control
dreaming. I was amazing. I was all for it. Gojira, I was like, I don't understand because they're singing in French. Plus it's death metal, so you don't understand what they're saying anyway. But I am here for this. It's all chunky.
Still hyping Marie Antoinette. They're just like, yeah, we chopped her head off for you 250 years ago.
Fuck that bitch. Yeah. Woo! Yeah.
Still psyched on it.
And it's that was fucking dope as shit, but it's the Olympics. It's supposed to be oh, these people I never heard of are trying to get medals. That's cool.
Yeah.
But and then you because the way you make yourself feel better about watching the Olympics, it's these people get a gold medal, but they still have day jobs, so I don't feel too bad about it. but if they if it's super dope and they have rock stars involved, and then they have this big elaborate drag queen show where a guy's painted blue and then he's on a dish or something, and it's super high esoteric art shit, then you're wait, do I have to do homework to understand what this is? I just wanted to pop in, watch half a game of tennis or pop in, see some rowing. I don't want to have to like do art history homework.
They like Celine Dion came back from the dead to perform. Like
Oh no.
that's how special this was.
Oh my God. Can we talk about Celine Dion for a
Of
second?
course we can. We can talk Celine Dion for the rest of the podcast if you want.
Sure, she's like a Canadian hero, and I've never really liked her or whatever. And it was creepy that she married her manager and stuff.
That was weird. Can't get into that in the show. That's a Netflix special.
Is it okay for me to laugh that she has the most hilariously named disease known to man?
Well, I mean, it's up to you. Yes, I have a buddy who he's got jokes about it, and he's always like, I want to do my Celine Dion jokes. And I'm like, you can't because she's a treasure.
Yeah, but it's called stiff person disease.
I know. Isn't that so random?
The symptoms are you get stiff.
Yeah.
You can't do that to me. It's Celine Dion. You got to call it like the scientific Latin name for whatever it is. Should we?
But I mean, she has this stiff person disease is going to cause her to turn into they see like a living statue.
Oh my God, like Body Works?
Yes, and she has not performed since 2021 and came out of stiff person disease retirement to perform at the Olympics.
Oh my God, I don't think it has an actual name.
Yeah, I think it's called stiff person disease.
Oh my God,
you can't do this. It's incredibly rare.
Oh my God.
Like, why is this happening to Celine Dion?
It's so rare they didn't even give it a smart person name. They're just like, well, just call it stiff person's disease because our syndrome, because nobody gets it.
Because it is what just let people, it is what it is. Just say what it is.
Oh my God. Like Celine Dion's putting this on the map.
100% she is.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, yeah, Celine Dion's a treasure, but she has stiff person syndrome.
But she came out of stiff person. She still has it, obviously, but she hasn't performed live since 2020.
I know, that was amazing. Like, and she just did that fucking documentary where she was like, all I want to do is perform a lot live again because that's when the only time I feel alive or whatever. And then she was crying through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's just like this whole then she would be playing at the Olympics and you get goosebumps and stuff, but they ruined it with Gojira. And everybody's like, did you see that death metal band? Holy shit. They had all this they were in that building, they were hanging off the side, and then everybody's like, well, oh yeah, that actually amazing thing happened where Celine Dion actually played live. That would have, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, I guess that happened too.
Yeah. She needed to chop off more heads. She needed to have the guillotine. She needed to pull a guillotine out.
Yeah. Next time there's a French Revolution, we'll be able to appreciate Celine Dion some more.
We'll appreciate her more.
There's a segue I was going to talk about before we did the medal count. Oh yeah, AI. So I don't know much about this because it just happened fucking today. And it didn't happen in Canada because we're on holidays. We have a long holiday or a long weekend. But in the States, apparently there was a market crash. And one of the main reasons was that people are losing faith in AI, which they should, because I was listening to a podcast and the actual wildest thing about AI that nobody's talking about is how much fucking electricity it takes to run AI.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's like Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, it's worse than Bitcoin.
Oh my God, Bitcoin
monstrous.
Ruins towns.
Yeah, so there's this I can't remember the exact numbers or whatever, but like AI, when they say general learning, that's like the next I guess landmark for it to. That's when it basically can teach itself to learn. But for the server center, basically the computers that house the AI and run the thinking and stuff, for it to go to general thinking, that server farm is going to take as much power as like Pennsylvania, like a small state, like all of Canada probably.
No, Pennsylvania's a big state.
Yeah, like a mid-sized state, I guess.
Yeah.
Or it's a big-sized state. I don't know.
There's big cities there. A lot of people live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, like Philadelphia. Imagine like
Pittsburgh.
Philadelphia only being a portion of the electricity it takes.
So that's what they need to run
Tom Hanks.
So that's what's got people all being like, maybe we shouldn't do this. Like finally.
Yeah. And then I don't know why. I keep bumping this lap. Sorry. I
know.
And
then it goes into focus. I love it.
But the thing does when I move my hand. But I saw that the market crashed today, and I was like, oh, are my stocks good? But I only have like 2 or 3, and they've been shit for a year. So I'm like, all
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
I'm good. But the cool thing is that um, the states are going to lower the interest rate as a way to counteract this crash. So that's good news for all of us, because that means everybody with a variable rate mortgage, all their payments are going to go down. And since that's the only reason all the house prices and rent went up, there should come right back down, right?
No, but yes.
Oh,
I mean, I want to believe rent's never going down. It's never
that's
going.
my good news is
Yeah.
if landlords weren't lying on why they raised the rent before, then they should go back down.
Yeah, I want to believe that rent's never going down.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things.
And I'm
When
just
it
like,
goes
when
up,
yeah, if it goes down or housing prices go down, then we got probably it's like a bigger problem, right? It's just like, oh, the economy's crashed.
yeah,
So then you're like, cool, house has gone down. I lost my job. Get
yeah,
fucked.
that's the crappy part, is the losing the job part. But
Yeah,
if I
that's
could
what.
keep my job, I'd be okay with a market crash if it
Oh
meant
yeah, yeah,
cheaper
for sure.
houses.
I
Totally.
wish the government could come up with a way to have like, like a controlled detonation. And when they destroy a building, they use a bomb to do it. They explode it, but it's a controlled detonation. We bring it down orderly, and then we clean it up, and then a
Mm-hmm.
new building comes in that space. So give me a government that's like, yeah, man, we're going to control detonation on the real estate. We're going
That'd
to
be hype.
try to not ruin too many people's lives.
Yeah, I
But,
want here. Let's speculate a sec.
yeah.
Why do you think the market is chilling on AI?
Probably because the guy who invented AI is like, oh shit, it's gonna replace my job. So he's like, oh
Yeah.
dang it. Yeah, I think I don't know. I mean, the market does the things it does just because
Hmm.
people like once one person's like, I'm cool on it, then it's an avalanche. That
Yeah, that's
happens.
true.
Like, we are imperfect creatures, so the hype is that we're cool on AI. So then all of a sudden it goes down. But I don't know. I don't think it's not going to go fully away. I think people corporations are starting to use it a little, in their
Yeah.
day to day. So
I'm just asking because I was very surprised that anybody's chilled on AI, because from my like what I'm taking away from AI is all these businesses are like, I can fire people and hire computers and then make a bunch of money. So of course I love AI.
yeah,
So I have no idea why. Maybe it's like,
it might not be doing as well as they hoped. It's like,
that's
oh
true.
man, I have AI and I still have to have a person. Like when they replaced all the uh, tellers with those self scanners, but then they're like, oh
Yeah.
shit, we need a bunch of workers now just to sit at the scanners.
Stop people from stealing everything,
Yeah,
or
or they glitch out constantly,
yeah,
right?
or when Dale moves his fucking reusable bag that they make us use, and then it just
Yeah,
pauses out. Yeah.
pauses out and then gotta have a worker. So they're like, oh shit, we might as well just have tellers again, right?
Yeah, it could. I guess it could be like a technological choke point or something. Like, because if you think about it, you can have the fastest AI ever, but we all have high speed internet, and it can't like make AI go faster than the tube the energy's going or the
Oh,
information's going
100%.
through.
And it just hasn't replaced. Yeah, I like maybe they were. It just might be more of a correction. They were like super hype on it, and they're like, "Oh, we're
Mm,
not there yet." It was like, oh, let's bring it
mhm.
down. But then it gets in the news, and everyone's like, "Oh, sell short, whatever." I don't know.
Yeah, or
Try not to pay attention too much to it because I'm like, I have no idea.
yeah, or they don't have the rare earth element materials to build all the batteries and shit,
Oh, of
and
course.
the electrical stuff and the microchips and stuff.
The internet tubes are only so big, you know?
They're all wearing down. It's like when they realize that you can't use lead for pipe for um the fucking piping.
Water pipes?
Yeah. Plumbing.
Plumbing.
I don't know why. This is my brain. It just I can't think of words like plumbing. Yeah. That's like when we had to like just redo all the plumbing because we made it out of the dumb shit first. So now they're like doing that with the internet. They're like, okay, now we have to get rid of every single Ethernet cable and put in fiber optic. And then someone's like, hey, remember this cable we just replaced everything for? It's glass that energy goes through. I'm sure nothing will bad will ever happen to that.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'd be fine. I think I read one time that everyone in like ancient Rome had like low level lead poisoning just because like
Yeah.
all their pipes were lead.
Yeah. And that's why they had like gladiators, and because one thing's about mild lead poisoning, it makes everybody super aggressive.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, that's actually total side story. That's why they think there were so many serial killers in the 70s, because we still had lead in our gas. So lead was
Oh
just
whoa.
out in the air and everybody was super aggressive. And then they're just like murdering each other.
We had like low level lead poisoning.
Yeah. So I think they said they took it out in like 19 in the 70s. So they're saying anybody born after, basically baby Gen Xers are the first people that were born into the world without lead in the air.
Just
And yeah, that's why we're like boomers are always like, back in my day, we beat up people with bats. It's like, well, you all lead poisoning, so we're not going to do that.
yeah, you also drank lead out of the school water
Yeah.
fountain.
Yeah. Did you
Wow.
eat paint chips?
I just like how they still advertise. It's like unleaded gas. I'm like, it's so long ago now. I'm like, was it leaded?
Yeah. My first memory of leaded gas was I remember seeing a commercial when I was like 5 or 6, and it was like a commercial to get your car transitioned over to unleaded, because it was like there was like it was like because some gas stations still had leaded gasoline. They were like the I
For
guess
old
the
cars or whatever.
artisanal gas
Yeah,
stations with
yeah.
leaded gas.
For your vintage Mercedes Benz.
Or maybe you put an additive in it or something. I don't know. And it's totally funny because the only reason there was lead in the gas was because engines, when they invented them, like a car, I think it was a transmission, it would just like knock and pin and make all this noise. And then one of the like car scientists was like, I'll put lead in the gas, see what happens. And it like didn't knock or ping. It was like, problem solved.
Oh, yeah.
We'll
Guy was
figure
like,
it out
well, there
later.
you go.
Yeah.
That was too easy. Well, it probably works.
I mean, we haven't lived through any problem that was solved without, we'll worry about that later.
Probably a future problem.
Yeah, that sounds like Morningdale's problem and not
Yeah.
right now.
Not right now, Dale.
Do you want to talk about the actual most important thing on our whole docket?
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU.
Yeah, as what?
Doctor Doom. He's going to be a bad
Wow.
guy. How do you feel about this?
I guess I don't. I'm
Okay,
like, I'm one of those guys who's like not a like super Robert Downey Jr. fan normally.
mhm.
Like I don't dislike him. If you're watching this podcast, Robert Downey Jr., I'm not adversarial to you.
Mhm.
I'm not, his name is on the like, oh, movie starring, I'm not like, oh, Robert Downey Jr., I want to go see that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Whereas like if it's Zendaya, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go see that.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's kind of a twist, isn't it? Because like, isn't he Iron Man?
Yeah, so I'm not quite clear on what's happening. I think he's just, because there was an alter, like my brother's a super comic dork, so he like hit me up on Twitter. There's an alternate timeline Doctor Doom where something happens to Iron Man, so Doctor Doom becomes Iron Man, and then there's another one where Iron Man becomes Doctor Doom. I don't know. It's like a different timeline thing. So
Yep.
I'm not sure if this is going to be Robert Downey Jr. Like I think it's not going to be Robert Downey Jr.'s character who is Doom is not also Iron Man. I think it's like in an alternate timeline, Tony Stark is Doctor
Is
Doom,
Yeah. That's
and
I
he
mean,
never
like
be. Yeah, so it'll be something
Marvel's
like
gotten
that.
so weird to me with all the time
Yeah,
jumping
it's
now and alter. I'm just like nothing matters to me in that.
oh,
Like
dude,
if someone dies, I'm like, who cares?
yeah, and it's funny because they dodged a giant bullet because did you hear about the Lee Majors thing? Like he
No.
was okay, so the next Avengers big bad was supposed to be this guy Kang.
Oh, right.
And
Okay, I remember reading about that.
that's from season 2 of Loki. Did you watch that?
I watched season one of Loki, but I never got through season two.
Okay, well, anyways, so I don't mean to dismiss you or anything, but season 2 of Loki goes through how there's the big bad is this guy Kang, and
Yep.
he like made it so like the theory is like if a timeline, if something happens, there's a breach off it. So Kang made this thing where it like brought all, he made this giant machine that brought all the timelines back together. Otherwise, they would all just explode and everything would, I don't know, the Earth would, or the universe would turn inside out or whatever. But he would like, he was bad. I can't remember why. But the actor who was playing him, Lee Majors, he got charged with domestic
Oh, yeah,
abuse.
yeah, yeah. I remember all that.
So they fired him, and then they're like, fuck, what are we going to do with this big bad for the Avengers? And then they decided to wrap up that whole storyline in Loki season 2, because in Loki season 2, Loki basically kills Kang and then just becomes the guy who sits at the end of all time watching over the timeline. So
Right.
now we're going back. So the Avengers are going to have to fight Doctor Doom for this thing called the Secret Wars. So it's like, even as annoying as this Robert Downey Jr. as Doom timeline shit is, it would have been so much worse. Just, with Kang, it would have just been like, what? Like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I
yeah.
found Loki super, like, I enjoyed it at times. I didn't even know there was a season 2, so I guess I didn't enjoy
Mhm.
it that much. But it was a two-screen experience for me. I had to be on the internet, be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
Whenever people
Yeah.
die, I'm like, doesn't matter, with the
Mhm.
robot guy, with the Scarlet Witch, with the Vision. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
what's the point of that guy? Is he alive? Is he dead? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch, is it real? Is she good? Is she evil? Doesn't matter.
That one, too, they were like, oh, she invented this whole like different reality in her head. And then in Doctor Strange 2, she like goes through different timelines to find the one where her and Vision had kids, and then she wants to take over that one. And then in the end, she's like, oops, I goofed. And then
Yeah.
they killed her, and then it was over. And you're like, that was, it's funny because it's like Marvel keeps doing like this super esoteric, like 80s comic books where there's this like thing nobody heard about, but they're like always out there, like the when they did the Eternals, and there's all this space shit and it's all weird and all this stuff. And then they dip their toe in with like Guardians of the Galaxy and it does gangbusters. So they're like, oh, people want weird space shit. And then they
Yeah.
do the Eternals and it's just like they bite off way more than they could chew, and everyone's like, we just confused everybody. And
Yeah,
like,
I just wanted to
fuck.
make I just keep making Thor Ragnarok. That's the only one I like.
Yeah.
I want to spin off with Korg, and that's
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Like that's
Like,
it.
yeah,
I
that would be
want
dope.
Korg and Thor flying through space, crazy 80s synth music,
Oh,
and lots of
yeah.
colors.
Yes, I like colors and synth.
Yeah, that's
And
all I want.
the good news is now that you have Doctor Doom, he's the arch nemesis of like the Fantastic Four, and then the X-Men can be involved because they're all from like the other half of the universe. Because like it's like there's the Avengers and then there's X-Men, and they're kind of like in the same universe, but it's like LA and New York. So now So now Doctor Doom is like Chicago. So they got to send people from LA and New York to fight him. So
Oh,
now you
nice.
could bring them all in.
So Wolverine confirmed.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So, and yeah, there's like, I haven't watched it yet, but Deadpool 3, apparently there's some like, I don't know, setup for the whole thing happening where like,
Yeah, I'll watch Deadpool 3 at some point next year, I'm sure. It'll be
yeah.
streaming. I'll just be sitting around being like, oh yeah, Wolverine and Deadpool, let's watch it.
Yeah, it'll be streaming. Like, oh yeah, I never watched that. That
I
looks
never
fun.
watched that one. I heard it was good.
Dope. Yeah.
I'm like, Ryan Reynolds.
And it's funny because everybody's, not everybody, but a lot of people are like, I'm so sick of superhero movies. And I'm like, I'm not. I love them because I don't want to go back to what sci-fi, like we used to only get a sci-fi movie like in the 90s. How old are you? Are you the same age as me or are you younger?
I might be older.
I'm 45.
Okay, I'm similar to younger,
Okay.
but not by much.
So you would have had the same thing as me where it's in the 90s.
Yeah,
We
get
only
one
got,
one Star Trek movie every Olympiad.
yeah, and then you'd get like one dope sci-fi out of nowhere. Like you get like Total Recall, and that'd be
Yeah,
5 years before anything came close. And then with superhero movies, they're like, okay, we're just gonna give you like regular person story, like action movie with sci-fi in it. like you watch Ant-Man and it's just like oh, where's my mom, blah, or where's my wife, go rescue her, and then it's all this like all like weird cool shit and just thrown in there
it's
because
like
it's superhero
like
stuff.
Thor Ragnarok was like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a regular movie just with all this dope
This
shit to
crazy
look at.
weirdness. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I love superhero movies.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you love superhero movies.
I feel like you don't love them quite as
I
much.
don't I watch them, but I don't love them.
Mhm.
I don't seek them out, sort of thing. My daughter's into them, so I'll watch them with her.
Okay.
And that's why I watched Thor Ragnarok or not Thor, Loki. But
Mhm.
like I think she's kind of drifted out of them right now, so that's
Mm.
why I'm kind of more. I like my I'm watching the new, what is it, House of the Dragon. I
Mm.
watched that for those about to die or whatever.
Oh, I started that.
Yeah, I haven't finished it
It's
either. I
good.
started it was good, but it's also like not so good that it's like I have to watch. It's like
Yeah.
I'm almost done it, but I'm like I've drifted away from it.
There's good Game of Thrones 8 degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon
Yeah, because
because
you got the Greyjoy or whatever in there.
yeah, who's playing the main guy in
Ramsey Bolton. There we go.
Those About to Die? Is that what?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
such a random name. I can never remember it.
Yeah, because it's like part the for those about to die, we
Yeah.
salute you.
Yeah. So it's
Like,
like a
okay.
modern heavy metal reference
Yeah,
to
yeah. And then they have like
gladiators,
a modern soundtrack and it's super
which
hip,
I'm
but it's in
okay with.
Rogue. Yeah, I don't hate it. It's like Knight's Tale, with Heath
Yeah,
Ledger. It's
I
like
was just gonna say like how everybody was upset with Knight's Tale because it wasn't lutes and harpsichords,
yeah,
but
yeah. But they were like, we will rock you at the jousting.
how far are you into Those About to Die?
I think I'm almost done. It's one of those shows that
Yeah.
I like. For me, it's like, oh, the kids have gone to bed. I
Mm.
smoke a joint. I got to watch some. But lately, my with it being summer, my kids stay up so late.
Oh yeah.
They outstay up me now. So
Yeah, they're like,
I've
we
been
don't got school. The sun's still up. Why would we be asleep?
or in my daughter's case, like I'm gonna stay up till 4 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna stay up that late to smoke a joint and watch my Gladiator show. I still have to go to work, so I've kind of paused it, but
Mm.
I'm like, so I'm on like I don't know episode 7.
Oh, okay. I think I'm only
Yeah,
on 3 or 4.
yeah, it's good. Moves along. Lots of
Yeah.
battles,
I have
lots of
I have
sex,
like
lots of
oh
partying in
yeah.
Rome.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I have this thing where it's like I have like ADHD binge watching. Like I was watching that and I was like, this is pretty good. I love this. And then my brother was like, oh, you got to check out The Gentleman. And then I just fucking powered through that. It was so good.
Nice.
Like I was like, oh, Guy Ritchie television show? Hell yes, I will
Yeah,
watch
I'll
all of
watch that.
this. With
Yeah, so
that,
I think you just gave the best kind of like if someone's like, oh, for those about to die, what do you think? It's like it's okay, but a better show took it over.
mm,
Like you were watching it, and you're like, this is
yeah,
good, and then someone's like, oh, watch The Gentleman, and you're like, goodbye, things about to die, and you watched all of The Gentleman. Then you'll go
yeah,
maybe back to for those, that's kind of where
hmm,
I'm at with for those about to die. It's good, but it's not great
yeah. It's a bit slow.
at
It's a
times, yeah.
bit slow.
And I'm
Whereas,
telling you, some of the stuff doesn't make sense. I'm watching, I'm like, why are you doing that?
yeah,
One of those shows where I'm just like, what are you doing?
or it's like one of those cringe things when you're watching a TV show. You're like, oh, don't do that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You're like,
And then
that's
it
the
just blows up
wrong.
in their face. And you're
Yeah.
like,
You're
yeah.
like, this is the wrong decision, but you are a high level character. You should be smarter than this. Yeah. But it's good. It's good. It's good. Not great.
Okay. Um, sorry, I was just thinking, do you want to move to a different, the next thing on the docket, or
What's next? Are we going in order? I just thought you were kind of grabbing stories and yelling at me.
well,
And then we just started talking about our sandals and swords
yeah,
TV
we
show.
did. Because I
What do we
wanted to
got?
go naturally.
Most insane reaction to an online beef.
Oh yeah, let's talk.
Conservatives
Well,
hate Greenday again.
well, don't read about in case we don't get to them. That I always feel bad if we say we're going to talk about something and
Oh,
then we
right.
don't. But so we'll talk about those two. That's fine. So the
No,
most insane reaction to an online beef was, I don't know, like how much how much meat there is on these bones, but there's at least one super fucking juicy piece.
yeah.
So this guy's in. I'm gonna pull up the story.
Yeah, he was having an online fight. I don't know. He doesn't like drag queens or something. And he was super mad and they were fighting online. And then he found the person he was fighting with dying father in hospice,
Yeah.
goes there, takes a selfie and sends it to this person, and then got charged. I don't
Yeah.
know what though. Maybe threats, uttering threats.
I think it was here. Let me see. I've
Because
got
like
the
being a
article up.
douchebag on the internet should be against the law, but I don't think it is. I think he got like uttering threats or something.
Yeah. Well,
Basically, he was like implying like, "I found your dad,"
yeah. That's
which is
crazy.
kind of psycho.
Like, I mean, it's harmless as in nobody got physically harmed, but to show up, like find out where somebody's dad is dying and then just like you could see the picture of the star, he's just like in
Yeah,
the
it's
room,
fucked
he's like,
up.
and the guy's in the background.
Like dying.
Yeah. Charge of criminal harassment.
Yeah, there we go. So I don't know. I just think
Which,
like if that was my friend and he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna fucking get this drag queen so bad," I'd be like, "Don't. What? Why? What are you doing? Stop." You know,
yeah,
like
like if you have to
use your
travel,
words on the
yeah,
internet, buddy. Like, what are
you
you
shouldn't
doing?
even have internet beefs, but as soon as you're traveling to go do an I gotcha, then it's probably too far.
Yeah, it's pretty psycho. So anyway, what did he get? He got a sentence, so he's going to jail, isn't he?
Yeah, he let's see, 6 months of jail time, and they're asking for 3 months probation or 3 years probation.
Jesus.
Which, what's the probation? Like, don't go to the hospices and take photos?
Yeah, I'd probably be like, guy, clearly, like, you're not into drag people, so stay away from them. Like,
Yeah.
separate yourself. Yeah, I don't know. 6 months of jail does seem like a lot. I don't know. Like you said, he didn't hurt anybody, I guess. Like, not
Yeah.
physically, he psychologically did.
I think
Yeah, I probably just would have started with the probation. I would have been like, six
yeah,
months
I
jail. What do you
yeah.
call it? Suspended sentence.
Yeah. I
It's
feel
like
like there
we're
was
giving you
more
six
to it.
months, but you don't have to actually go to jail.
Yeah, I feel like there's more to it like than just the picture. The picture was probably like the fucking high water mark of the craziness. Like there's probably a like because criminal harassment,
Yeah, well, I
there was
think what you're doing
probably
is
like,
you are threatening this person. You're like, I can find you, I can
yeah.
damage you, I can hurt you. And like
Mhm.
you said, it started as an online beef. So this person did clearly escalated it. I'm just so it's like it's insane.
Yeah, and
I guess
surprise,
I don't
surprise, this guy has a prior record of
go being a piece of shit.
yeah, he's
Yeah, of
basically a
course.
piece of shit. He's like
So
had
I say to
some
my buddy, it's like whenever you read these stories, like a fucking idiot, and then it's like known to police, and you're like, oh, of course.
yeah, of
Like,
course.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think he just had like some,
This guy has a hard time just functioning in society.
where is it?
Been
This
radicalized to think that drag queens are out to get him. So he's like, I'll show you, and goes out and gets their dad.
yeah, he's one of those guys that protests gay stuff.
No, it's super weird.
So yeah, no, like
Yeah, maybe put him in
he
jail.
protested drag queen events.
6 months isn't long enough.
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly, right? You started this and you're like 6 months of jail? That seems like a
That
lot.
seems like a
And now
lot.
you're
And
like,
now I'm
how
like,
about the death penalty?
yeah, let's put this guy in a gulag, man.
How about Canada takes up the death penalty just
For
because
this guy.
I don't like the way this guy he has like Oakley's in a shaved head, so you know he's a piece of shit.
Hey, what if we guillotine him?
Yeah,
Let's
then he
bring
could
it
be in the
back.
Gojira
Let's
video.
bring it back.
Oh yeah, they wanted his DNA, which can we open up that why they would want to get his DNA? Like
Because
what
they probably think
happened?
he's a sex offender.
Well, he is a sex offender, and they already have his DNA on file from a
Oh.
previous conviction.
Yeah, they just and now they just get it from the like, the
But like, what happened that they want to compare his DNA to in this case? Because they don't say what it is. They just say that he harassed this guy. They had an online beef, and he went to his like dad's hospice room. And they're
yeah.
like, oh yeah, and the prosecutors kind of want to get his DNA for whatever
Oh,
reason.
because
And
they're
you're like,
probably like, this guy profiles, you watch Criminal Minds. You
yeah,
watch that
did he?
show? Probably profiles like some psycho.
Oh, dude, I started Criminal Minds from the beginning, and then I stopped watching that to watch something
Yeah,
else. But it's good. It holds up, actually. I was
it's a good
surprised
show. Yeah, good
because it's
show.
like what, 20, 30 years old?
Criminal Minds?
Yeah, it's got to be early aughts.
Yeah, it's the aughts for sure. Because I ran into Matthew Greg Goobler in Las Vegas one time. Very nice, very lovely, very nice guy.
Which guy's that?
Nerd Criminal Minds, what we called him, the nerdy one.
Oh, the guy who has like
Fluffy
autism.
hair. Yeah.
And it's funny because you watch the show and you're like, oh, this is the autism character, and that, but this is like before that was a thing.
Yeah, so
and they're like,
we used to call him Nerdy Guy. We call him
Yeah.
Nerdy Criminal Minds. That's Matthew Greg Goobler. Very, very lovely guy.
yeah, they used to call him like socially awkward, and then
Yeah.
and then they kind of hint at the fact that he might have autism in like episode 5, and that's all they talk about. But like now they would be like, oh yeah, this guy is like super autism.
Oh yeah. They'd be like leading with that. You'd walk in the room and be like, hello, I have autism.
That would be the whole trail. It would be like, this is Sheldon. He has super autism.
Yeah. So that would be him for sure. So I bet this guy probably, maybe the police are like, oh, this guy's he's just like a major serious crime, like waiting to happen.
Yeah. Okay. When all my dudes out there, I'm not going to give you like some manosphere advice or anything like that.
Good.
I'm just going to tell you one thing. Your haircut and sunglasses combination, if someone holds up a picture of you, no one should just go, ugh. Like,
yeah, that's some good that's good manosphere advice.
If you have a bald head, don't get pit vipers. Get Wayfarers. If you have a mullet, you can have pit vipers, but you can't have like Oakley gas.
But ironically, you can have them. Yes, for
yes.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. Like a detective shouldn't want your DNA.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the thing. For sunglasses, here's a hot tip of fashion advice from a very unfashionable guy.
Yeah.
Never get sunglasses that look like you're trying to look cool in sunglasses. Okay. Just get ones that look dumb on purpose, ironically, or get Wayfarers. Wayfarers go with everything. They're timeless.
Every Pit Vipers and mullet, that works. I agree.
Yeah, but that's a whole persona you have to adopt.
Yeah, if you're a super, what do we call them? If you're the radical left, Pit Vipers are awesome because it's fun, right? It's ironic.
Yeah,
right.
And the problem is, if you're
alt-right, you need to get those like little wire glasses. Like that's hilarious. You know what I mean?
And the bow tie.
Vance shows up with like those like wire like glasses. I'd be like, oh, that'd be ironic, right? And a bow tie would be great.
Because Pit Vipers are a commitment. Like I have this neon.
Don't they like wrap around your head?
Yeah. But like if somebody sees a guy in Pit Vipers, they're like, oh, that guy's rad. I'm going to go talk to him. I bet he's so loud and hilarious. And then if you're just in a chill mood, like you just want to sit on the patio and have like a light cerveza or a radler and you're just chilling with your homies. And then somebody comes up to you because they're looking at you because you look like a party guy. The Pit Vipers are going to betray you because you can't just like be, hey, I'm hanging out having a radler.
You're gonna be like, you're the raddest dude here in the beer garden.
You like have to do shots. You like signed a contract with your sunglasses.
All right, that's pretty good advice. If someone holds up your picture, they shouldn't go, ugh.
Yeah, that should be advice for everything, actually.
Yeah, I like that.
And then you mentioned, how about
I mean,
no segue.
We can talk about the Greenday.
Yeah, the Greenday thing.
But the thing about the Greenday thing that to me is just, I mean, it's not even funny. It's just like, I can't believe people were upset about Greenday in the year of our Lord 2024.
I was
if you're today's years old and you're just like, wow, they sing American Idiot. That's about Republican presidents.
Yeah.
That's weird because like it was very famously about George Bush.
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden right-wing people realize what punk music is. It has been
super weird. Yeah, it's such a weird take for me.
Yeah, it's like that was the thing. Like I saw that they're mad because they held up like they have an anti-MAGA agenda, which is like, I don't know. So it's like either Greenday has been around so long that they went through a generational gap and these kids don't remember why their dads hated Greenday.
Yeah, super weird. Like they're literally about like their band name is about smoking pot.
Yeah.
So it was super weird when I saw that story. I'm just like, and then like, we are going to boycott their music. And I was like, what? Like, you guys probably weren't listening to it very much to begin with. Let's be super real. And I'm like, you can't ban a band that's been around for 30, like they've already sold the records, dude. They've already filled it. Like Green Day could stop today. Green Day could be like, you know what, we're done making music today. And they're so rich and they've accomplished so much that your boycott means literally nothing. They're not Budweiser. They don't give a shit about selling beer tomorrow. Like they're
And
done.
it's like, it's funny because I guess it was like 2 weeks after the Trump attempted assassination.
Yeah.
They didn't even hold up a severed head. They just had like a mask, like a Donald Trump mask, and they're holding it up. And it's like, guys, I don't know if you've been out in the world, but they elected Joe Biden. I said we, but I live in Canada. We didn't elect him. They elected Joe Biden just because he wasn't Donald Trump. They're now going to elect Kamala Harris just because she isn't Donald Trump. Everybody hates Donald Trump.
Except for the people who love him.
Yeah. You don't get like to just be like, oh, hey, you got to show some more respect. It's like, no, everybody fucking hates him.
Well, totally. And maybe you should show more respect if he showed any respect. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, I love Donald Trump because he goes on stage and he tells people crazy things and he calls people names. And then you call him a name and they're like, whoa, you respect former president. You know, it's like, it's weird.
Yeah. Like, here's how much respect you should show Trump. Like Jeremy was saying, the exact same amount he would show someone else who almost got assassinated.
Like, stop it. Like, stop pretending like this, like it's that false equivalency thing where it's like, oh, that guy like smashes on people's wives. Like he goes off the rails on all sorts of stuff, which is fun. Clearly it works for him. So, I mean, there's a method to his madness, but it's like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And then if you're at a Green Day show and you're like, oh my God, can you believe they don't like Donald Trump? Like, what?
Yeah, it's like, I thought Green Day was Billionaires. I thought all billionaires like Donald Trump.
Yeah, they're like, no, they're just millionaires.
Yeah.
Multi-millionaires, not billionaires.
Yeah. They're not even halfway to a billion.
Yeah, they're
guys.
no Taylor Swift, you know, they're no Bruce Springsteen or Jay. I think that's it. There's three. Jay-Z.
Is Jay-Z? Oh, yeah, I guess he is.
Jay-Z a billionaire?
He's gotta be.
And then and Taylor Swift. Like,
yeah, because Jay-Z owns
Rolling
that
Stone
record label thing.
Yeah, some of them are billionaires because they own things. Like Beyonce is probably close.
Taylor Swift, has she passed billionaire? Because she's gonna be.
I think she hit billionaire.
Once the concert tour is over, she will have made $1 billion.
And then maybe, yeah.
But I don't know if she's along that way. Because I know
Bruce just hit it. Bruce Springsteen.
Me and Derek did a pod where we were talking about Taylor Swift a while ago, and Rihanna had more net worth than her.
Oh yeah, Rihanna. Rihanna's a billionaire, isn't she?
Yeah, because she has a makeup line and shit.
Yeah, and the lingerie, clothing, and all that stuff. Yeah,
and
Rihanna's like literally the only, like, you know, there's no good billionaires. I'm like, well, Rihanna.
Yeah, Rihanna's amazing. She was like, I don't feel like making music anymore because too many people are talking about me. Plus, she like had sex with everybody, so you know she's awesome. Like, she had sex with fucking DiCaprio, which I totally forgot about because that was over a decade ago. Somebody posted like a Twitter gif, and it was a timeline. It was like all of Rihanna's greatest hits, and it was all the dudes she humped, and DiCaprio was in there, and I was like, well, that must have been back before she was 25.
Yeah. I mean, that joke is, I was like, well, yeah, okay. So maybe, in the OG days of Rihanna for sure, because that's out of control. Yeah, so I think Rihanna's a billionaire, right?
Yeah, she's got to be. Let's Google. I don't want to say wrong things on the internet, Jeremy.
Well, half this show has been wrong things, so it'll be par for the course.
Hannah net.
I'm just like, if I'm thinking of musical billionaires, there can't be many. I'm going to say 5 tops.
That can't be men.
No, I'm going to. How many musical billionaires are there?
I don't know. Rihanna has 1.4, and that surprises the fuck out of me.
So Rihanna, Taylor Swift, Bruce Springsteen, Jay-Z, Beyonce. Both of them, one of them. I mean, they're married.
I want to say, like, if I had to guess, I would say Can we say the estates of some musicians?
Maybe. But I don't think I think the estates it starts, get broken down and the Beatles, maybe. I don't know. Paul McCartney.
Okay, I'm looking at
You're looking at a list of musical billionaires?
I'm looking at the top 10 richest musicians in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to go by. Okay, so 10 is Bono, 720 million. Nobody cares.
Okay, so he's close to.
Celine Dion makes an appearance,
Fuck yeah,
800 million at number
Yeah,
9.
Queen of Canada.
And I'm
of
going to
course.
tell you who's number 8.
Yeah.
And you're either going to be very happy or you're going to say, who the fuck is that?
Are you going to say Diddy?
Nope. You know who Diddy is. Number 8 is Herb Albert.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Well, I wonder why.
Wow, he had 5 number 1 albums.
For sure.
28
like
total albums.
million years ago when like records were $1.
9 Grammys, 14 certified platinum albums, and
yeah, but like a trillion
albums.
people have 14 certified albums. All their money goes to the record label or the mob or whatever.
Yeah.
Why is Herb Albert? You must have been a songwriter. I don't
know.
What is it?
I found out why.
Why?
So I'm going through all this records sold, and he's like, his total sales are over 72 million. I was like, well, you don't get $100 for each record. And it's like, Albert is the A in A&M Records.
Oh, there we go.
That's a loophole.
No, but for sure. But like a lot of these musicians, right? Like their money is coming from
exactly
other avenues, right?
Like Rihanna, like it's from
Rihanna, or Jay-Z or whatever, right?
I thought it was a little weird that Herb Albert was number 8.
Yeah, that was weird. Okay, who's number 7?
Madonna.
Okay,
850 million.
Okay, we haven't hit and that's 7. We haven't hit billionaire yet. Okay, who's 6?
Sean Puffy Combs, which I feel like this might be an old list. I'm going to see when it was published.
That's a dated story.
Yeah, it doesn't have a date because Sean Puffy Combs is either going to go down or they're going to find out how much CIA money he really has, and he's going to be worth a bit more. He's actually a billionaire. Sean Puffy Combs, Jonathan Diddy, whatever his names are. And then Taylor Swift is worth 1.1.
Okay, is that number 5?
Yeah, she got 360 million this year.
Jesus.
So
doing all right.
Ooh,
not miss
Paul McCartney, you were right.
Okay,
1.2 billion.
Sure.
Andrew Lloyd Webber, other side of the coin.
Okay.
His must be all royalties from operas and shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Songwriting credits. Maybe he gets a little taste of all the movies and stuff. I don't know. That's crazy. Okay, so he's
because he wrote like the music for Phantom of the Opera, Jesus Christ Superstar, Cats, Evita.
Yeah, so every time like a high school puts it on, right? He gets a nickel. So he's doing okay.
School of Rock.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Jack Black's sending him money. That's great. So he's number 3?
Wait, is like School of Rock the like theatrical Broadway show? Is it not about rock music? Or did Weber write rock music?
No, because I'm sure he wrote, he probably is like, I'm going to write theatrical rock music, right? And watch the movie with Jack Black. It's very like sing along. So that's number 3 is Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Yes.
Okay,
he has 1.25 billion and it's all royalties. Number 2 is Rihanna, which I thought would be number 1. 1.7 billion. And
number 1.
Jay-Z's worth 2.5 billion. Jesus. He made 900 million this year.
He's doing okay.
So he made more than this year. He made more than Madonna's net worth.
So that must be a little bit dated because I read earlier that Bruce Springsteen hit the $1 billion club. And he wasn't even in your top 10.
Yeah. Let me see.
And I'm wondering where Beyonce is. And then if you were to then combine Beyonce and Jay-Z as a family unit, like that even sets them further into another stratosphere of.
Yeah, because this says
I think my guess was good. 5-ish billionaires.
Yeah. Bruce Springsteen has 650 million. That's what this says.
Okay. So there was an article earlier this year.
This must be last year. It has to be.
Yeah, maybe. Or
no, wait.
Could be.
Oh
beginning
yeah,
of the
this
thing.
says November 2023.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
This was like 6 months ago. No, yeah.
So we'll say
more than 6 months. It's 10 months ago or
10 months
something
ago.
ridiculous.
So we'll say somewhere in the neighborhood of 5 to 6 musical
Yeah.
billionaires.
You're right. And
Not
Green
bad.
Day's not on there.
Green Day not on the list.
So that's why they don't like Trump.
They don't like Trump because they're still
I
working class punk rock band.
I can't believe, yeah, blue collar, green
Blue collar
collar.
Green Day.
How the fuck did Jay-Z make 900 million in a year? I gotta know. Did he sell something?
I don't know. Sold the Brooklyn Nets.
He made 750 million following the partial sale of his De Usse Cognac to Bacardi.
Well done.
What the fuck? So he owns...
I mean, Ryan Reynolds, right? He made his 600 million selling his gin.
Did he make that much?
Yeah, it was like an insane amount of money.
We should start a gin, Jeremy, or not gin.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're not already rich and
That's
wealthy.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can't be our own spokesperson because
when
we
people
come
are like,
on
"Hey,
TV.
man, start a podcast." Joe Rogan's very popular, and I'm like, "Yeah, cool." You know, like,
Yeah. Does Joe Rogan make money? Because I don't.
Yeah,
this
like,
podcast makes nobody.
He's already rich and famous, so then you just be more rich and famous.
Yeah. So yeah, Jay-Z owns Rockaware, Rockefeller Records, and that cognac brand.
In the basketball team, doesn't he?
Oh, maybe.
Or maybe he doesn't.
Well, those are more like
red
in the ledger than black.
It's just for funsies. He owns
Yeah.
an NBA team just for fun. He might not own it anymore either.
Yeah, which team? The Nets?
Yeah, Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. I mean, not to like sound obvious but of course it's the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, of course.
Like, what other team would it be?
The New York Knicks, but he probably can't get them.
Yeah. I think that's it. Oh,
all right.
Okay. We're at an hour.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the last one on the list?
What's the last one on the list?
Okay. So this was just
podcast overtime.
So this was just some throwaway thing Trump said. He said he was like, "Oh, maybe we should make sports coaches leaders in military because it's like the same thing." And everybody on the internet's like, "This is the dumbest fucking thing ever." And then me chimes in, and I'm like, "Just make it a sci-fi movie because that would be fucking amazing."
Yeah, I mean,
like
that's idiocracy for real. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, like you get like a fucking mixture of like robot jocks and Running Man and fucking I just had it, that movie that I was thinking of. Anyways, yeah, so it's like, I don't know, you write some fucking MacGuffin plot line where something happens to the earth and military people are dead, so you have to like basically mobilize.
We recruit all the Pac-10 coaches from
Yeah, you have to like mobilize the entire population of Earth to go fight something. And then you end up with like a Cinderella sports story, but it's an army group of people led by, but it's war.
I swear, I think you just rewrote Red Dawn 2.
Oh my God. Like it would be like all the best things about a super dope sports movie with exploding futuristic jets and not hand-to-hand fighting, but like they could be in robot suits fighting.
Oh yeah. And then like before the battle, the coach, general coach is sort of like, it's about the inches. We go out there and we take an inch. And then it's like, get out there, and all the soldiers are like, ah! And then it's like the beginning of the battle, and all the machine guns start going, and he's like, oh shit, those are real bullets. So then the coach is like, time out, and then he gets shot. Roll credits.
Oh wow.
We make this movie like 3 minutes long.
It'll be like that scene in Matrix 3 where all the things are coming into the thing, and then there's that black guy in the fucking suits just shooting all those like octopus things, and then someone could be like, is that the coach? Damn,
then he's dead.
And then he does the timeout, and then he dies.
Yeah, he's like, time out. I call time.
Yeah. Oh,
done.
This is amazing.
We wrote it.
This was definitely worth the podcast overtime.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We went deep. All right. Thanks, Tail, for having me on the show.
Oh, no. Thank you for gracing me with your presence. it was funny because I was talking to my girlfriend before this. I was like, I'm actually a little bit nervous because Jeremy's an actual legit radio DJ, and I'm just a guy who started a podcast.
Yeah, super fun though.
But yeah, you're always good. Consummate professional.
Yep,
Guided me along.
haven't been in the show. Haven't been on the show in a while, but it's good to be back. But you stopped doing the show for the.
Well, what happened was
you had a kid.
I started a second podcast to do conspiracy theories and like bad shit out
Actual
there stuff I wanted
stuff,
to talk. Yeah. And then this podcast, because of that, because I had a kid, because Derek had a kid. So Derek now has 2 kids. Derek's job heated up. And so he like didn't have enough time. So I was like, we'll just put that on pause or whatever. And we do one every couple months. And then now Derek was just like, yeah, just do podcasts without me. I don't care, whatever. So that's why Derek's not here.
All right, but he'll come back sometime.
Creative differences, I guess. I don't know. Like, yeah, he was like, he was too busy. So he's always.
Oh, I get it.
I mean, it's his baby too. So of course he'll be back. But
when you're not Joe Rogan, it's sort of like it's a hobby, right? It's like you're not making $1 million per episode.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing too is the other podcast. Like I've done 2 parts on Tartaria, and I'm going to do a third. It's a lot of homework, and sometimes I just want to get on with a friend and talk about how dumb shit Trump says would make really good movies.
Yeah, let's talk Greenday, right? For sure. All right. Well, it was fun, Dale. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. Until next time, stay angry. Where's the stop button?
Oh, is that the slogan? Stay angry.
Yeah, there you go.
Over the top.